Breaking news that could put thousands of dollars in your pocket. The IRS has just dropped a bombshell announcement that's sending shockwaves through the American economy. If you're one of the millions of Americans receiving Social Security or SSDI benefits, you need to hear this urgent update about the new $2,000 stimulus checks that are rolling out in the next 48 hours. But before we dive into these critical details that could affect your bank account, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss out on important updates about your benefits and financial news that could impact your wallet. Have you been struggling to keep up with rising inflation while living on a fixed income? Are you tired of checking your bank account daily, hoping for some relief? Well, your wait might finally be over. Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know about this groundbreaking development that could mean an extra $2,000 in your pocket. But here's the thing: there are specific requirements you need to meet, and the timeline is incredibly tight. Don't worry, though, because I'm going to walk you through every single detail to make sure you don't miss out on this opportunity. Let's start with the shocking announcement that came directly from the IRS Commissioner earlier today. After months of congressional debates and behind-the-scenes negotiations, the Treasury Department has finally given the green light to this emergency relief package. This isn't just another rumor or social media speculation. This is official confirmation from the highest levels of government. But what makes this stimulus different from previous payments? The answer lies in its targeted approach and the unprecedented speed of distribution. The most crucial detail that everyone needs to understand is how this new stimulus package specifically addresses the needs of Social Security and SSDI recipients. Unlike previous stimulus programs, this one has been carefully designed to provide additional support to those who rely on fixed income benefits. The IRS has implemented a new direct deposit system that will automatically process payments for eligible recipients within the next 48 hours. But here's what's really interesting: they're using an advanced verification process that's never been used before, which means some recipients might receive their payments even sooner than expected. You might be wondering why this stimulus is happening now, and that's a fantastic question. The timing isn't random, it's actually a response to several economic indicators that have prompted urgent action. Recent data has shown that beneficiaries of Social Security and SSDI have been disproportionately affected by the current economic climate, with many falling behind on essential expenses despite recent cost of living adjustments. This new stimulus is designed to bridge that gap and provide immediate relief to those who need it most. Let's talk about eligibility, because this is where things get really interesting. While previous stimulus payments had broad income thresholds, this one has been specifically tailored to benefit Social Security and SSDI recipients. However, there are some important nuances that you absolutely need to understand. The basic qualification starts with being a current recipient of either Social Security retirement benefits or SSDI payments, but there are additional factors that could affect your payment amount. For instance, did you know that your 2023 tax filing status could impact not only your eligibility but also the speed at which you receive your payment? One of the most surprising aspects of this stimulus package is the additional bonus payment that some recipients might qualify for. This is something that hasn't been widely reported yet, but it could mean an extra boost for those who meet certain criteria. The bonus is based on a complex formula that takes into account your benefit history and recent cost of living adjustments. What makes this particularly interesting is that you don't need to do anything extra to qualify. The IRS will automatically calculate your eligibility based on existing data. Now, let's address some of the concerns that have been flooding social media and news outlets. There's been a lot of confusion about whether this stimulus payment will affect other benefits, and I want to clear that up right now. The IRS has explicitly stated that these payments will not count as income for federal benefit programs. This means your regular Social Security or SSDI payments won't be affected, and you won't see any reduction in other benefits you might receive, such as SNAP or housing assistance. Isn't it refreshing to see a government program that actually provides additional help without taking away existing support? Here's something that many people don't realize about this stimulus package: it's actually part of a larger economic recovery initiative that could lead to additional payments in the future. While we're focusing on the immediate $2,000 payment today, there are already discussions happening in Washington about potential follow-up stimulus measures. This is why it's more important than ever to understand how these payments work and what you need to do to ensure you're not left out of future distributions. The distribution process for these payments is fascinating and shows just how far government technology has come. The IRS has developed a new automated system that will process millions of payments simultaneously, using advanced algorithms to verify eligibility and prevent fraud. But what happens if you're eligible but don't receive your payment within the 48-hour window? Don't panic, there's a specific procedure in place for such situations, and I'll explain exactly what steps you need to take. Many people have asked about the tax implications of these stimulus payments, and it's a crucial question that deserves a detailed answer. Just like previous stimulus payments, these $2,000 checks are technically considered tax credits, not income. This means you won't have to pay taxes on this money when you file your 2024 return. However, there's an interesting twist this time. The IRS has included a special provision that could actually lead to additional tax benefits for some recipients. Have you ever wondered how government benefits interact with the tax code? This situation provides a perfect example of how complex policies can sometimes work in favor of beneficiaries. The timing of these payments couldn't be more critical, especially considering the current economic landscape. With inflation affecting everything from grocery prices to utility bills, many Social Security and SSDI recipients have been forced to make difficult choices about basic necessities. This stimulus aims to provide some breathing room, but it's important to understand how to make the most of this payment. Have you thought about how you'll prioritize this extra funds when they arrive? One aspect of this stimulus that hasn't received enough attention is its potential impact on local economies. When millions of Social Security and SSDI recipients receive these payments simultaneously, it creates a significant boost to local businesses and services. This multiplier effect could lead to improved economic conditions in communities across the country, potentially creating more opportunities and stability for everyone. Isn't it interesting how a targeted stimulus program can have such far-reaching effects? Let's talk about some practical matters that you need to consider as these payments roll out. First and foremost, be aware that scammers are already trying to take advantage of this situation. The IRS will never call, text, or email you asking for personal information about these stimulus payments. If anyone contacts you claiming to be from the IRS and asks for details to process your payment, it's a scam. Have you noticed an increase in suspicious calls or emails since this announcement? This is unfortunately common whenever new government benefits are announced. The payment tracking system for this stimulus is more advanced than anything we've seen before. The IRS has launched a new online portal specifically for Social Security and SSDI recipients to monitor their payment status. This real-time tracking system provides unprecedented transparency, but it's important to understand how to use it correctly. I'll walk you through the exact steps to access this system and what information you'll need to have ready. One of the most frequently asked questions about this stimulus concerns people who receive both Social Security and SSDI benefits. There's been some confusion about whether these individuals might qualify for double payments or have to choose between benefit categories. The good news is that the IRS has provided clear guidance on this situation, and I'll explain exactly how it works for those who fall into multiple eligibility categories. The impact of these stimulus payments on retirement planning is another crucial aspect that deserves attention. While $2,000 might seem like a one-time boost, smart financial planning could help you leverage this payment to create longer-term benefits. Have you considered how this extra money could fit into your overall financial strategy? There are several approaches you might want to consider, depending on your specific situation and needs. Security measures for these payments have been significantly enhanced compared to previous stimulus distributions. The IRS has implemented new fraud prevention protocols that should make these payments more secure than ever. However, this also means that some recipients might experience slight delays if their information triggers additional verification requirements. Understanding these security measures can help you avoid unnecessary worry if your payment takes a little longer than expected. What's particularly interesting about this stimulus package is how it fits into the broader context of Social Security and SSDI reform discussions. While these $2,000 payments provide immediate relief, they're also part of a larger conversation about the future of these crucial benefit programs. How do you think these temporary stimulus measures might influence long-term policy decisions about Social Security and disability benefits? The role of direct deposit in this stimulus distribution cannot be overstated. The IRS has strongly encouraged electronic payments, as they're faster, more secure, and more reliable than paper checks. But what if you've previously received your benefits by mail? There's still time to update your payment preferences, and I'll explain the quickest way to make these changes to ensure you receive your payment as soon as possible. Looking ahead, it's important to understand how these stimulus payments might affect future benefit calculations and cost of living adjustments. While the immediate impact is clear: an extra $2,000 in your pocket, the long-term implications for benefit programs are more complex and nuanced. Have you thought about how this stimulus might influence future policy decisions about Social Security and SSDI benefits? The documentation requirements for these stimulus payments are minimal for most recipients, but there are some situations where additional paperwork might be necessary. Understanding these requirements now can save you time and prevent potential delays in receiving your payment. Let's go through the specific scenarios that might require extra documentation and exactly what you need to do if you fall into one of these categories. State-level impacts of these federal stimulus payments vary significantly, and it's crucial to understand how your state treats these funds. Some states have implemented additional programs or benefits that complement this federal stimulus, while others might have specific requirements or considerations you need to know about. How familiar are you with your state's policies regarding federal stimulus payments? The banking system has made special preparations to handle this massive influx of payments. Many banks have extended their processing hours and increased their support staff to handle questions and concerns about these stimulus deposits. But what happens if you use a non-traditional banking service or prefer paper checks? There are specific procedures in place for these situations as well. One of the most overlooked aspects of this stimulus package is its potential impact on other financial decisions you might need to make in the coming months. For instance, how might this payment affect your eligibility for other assistance programs? What about its impact on medical coverage or prescription drug benefits? These are crucial considerations that require careful thought and planning. The reporting requirements for these stimulus payments are straightforward, but there are some important details you need to understand. While the payments themselves aren't taxable, there are specific situations where you might need to report receiving them. Understanding these requirements now can save you headaches when tax season arrives. Have you considered how you'll track and document this payment for your records? As we wrap up this detailed overview of the new stimulus payments, let's recap the most critical points you need to remember. The $2,000 payments are rolling out within the next 48 hours, primarily targeting Social Security and SSDI recipients. The distribution process is automated, secure, and designed for maximum efficiency. But remember, staying informed about these developments is crucial for protecting your financial interests and ensuring you receive all the benefits you're entitled to. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. We're constantly monitoring these developments and will bring you immediate updates as soon as new information becomes available. Have questions about what we covered today? Drop them in the comments below, and we'll address them in our next video. Remember, staying informed is your best defense against missing out on important benefits and financial opportunities. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next update.